VM. You have heard it, maybe in a TED podcast or read it in a blog post. But what is it really? Hi, welcome to Getting Started with VMs on Azure. I am Vincent Irole. I will help you understand what a VM is and how to create and deploy one on Azure. VM stands for virtual machine. To an end user like you and I, a VM isn't any different than a physical machine like your laptop. It has CPU, memory, disk to store your files, and can connect to the internet if needed. A physical machine is, well, physical. You can touch it, see it. It's a tangible thing. A VM exists only as code, a software-defined computer that is running on top of a specialized operating system called a hypervisor. A hypervisor is the software that sits between the physical hardware and the VM. You know, like a traffic cop who control the flow of traffic coming and going through the intersection. You get it, right? The hypervisor is making sure each VM gets the resources it needs in an orderly manner. In the case of Microsoft Azure, VMs are running in the cloud. The cloud is on the cloud. We can do that on the cloud. Back it up on the cloud. You have heard it. It's impossible to escape it in the tech world. But what exactly it is? It is a network of powerful servers running hypervisors and data centers all over the world. The term cloud is used to visualize that a VM can be just about anywhere on the planet. We use the internet to access the information and services that are running in the cloud from your app, browser, or device. So, there you have it. We have revealed the mystery behind what a VM is. I'm sure you're curious about how you can try one out. If you're a developer needing space to build and deploy your apps to the cloud, or if you're looking to try a different operating system, let's go ahead and create a VM running Windows 11 on Azure. So I'll make my way to the Azure portal, and on the search bar, I'll go ahead and type virtual machine. On the result bar, go ahead and click on virtual machines. Go ahead and click on create to create a new virtual machine and click on virtual machine. While creating a virtual machine, there are things you need to know. One is the size of the virtual machine you want to create. When I talk about size, well, I mean the hard disk, the storage disk. What size do I want to? What kind of hard storage, disk do I want? Should it be a hard disk or should it be an SSD? The other thing to also bear in mind is the image. Well, when I say the image, well, I mean the operating system. Is it going to be a Linux? Or is it going to be Windows? It could be Windows Server or my user operating Windows like Windows 10 or Windows 11. Okay, back to Azure Portal. I'll go ahead and click on my subscription tab and select the subscription in which I want to deploy my virtual machines on. I'll go ahead and choose Azure for Students. While creating resources on Azure, it is always advisable that you group them into resource groups. So, in order to group my virtual machine in a resource group, I'll go ahead and click on Create New. And I will call this Iceland. Okay. Our virtual machine should have a name. So I'll go ahead and give this a name. I'll say go ahead and call it Iceman. You choose the region where you want to deploy your virtual machine. I'll leave this as default is US. Availability options. Wow, it's outside the scope of this tutorial, so we're not going to talk about it. On the image, we're going to ahead and choose the image we want. So just go ahead and click on see all images. So explore some of the images that Azure supports. Okay, so on this window, you can go ahead and choose any of the featured images. Here you have Windows Server, we have the Red Hat Enterprise, and some other Linux distribution machine images right here. But I want us to deploy a Windows 11 operating system in our virtual machine. So I'll go ahead out on the search the marketplace on the search bar and type Windows. Hit the enter button. With the results, I have Windows 11 right here. So I'll go ahead and click on select and choose Windows 11 Pro Generation 2. With that being selected, we go ahead and choose the size of our virtual machine. Now the standard BS give us two CPUs, 4 gigabytes of memory, and it costs $30.37 per month. You can go ahead and click on see all sizes to choose the size of the image depending on your budget. So if you go here, you see different image, you see different sizes, and here it shows you how many CPUs it runs, the RAM, the data disk, the maximum IOPS, and some other informations, including the cost. Okay, this is okay. This is cheaper. It runs $30.73 a month, and it runs on two CPUs, and we have four gigabyte RAM. So I think that's pretty fine. Go ahead and select the image of your choice. Under administrator account, where you have username and password, this is the username and password that you will use to log in into your virtual machine. I'll go ahead and call this an Azure user, and I'll go ahead and type a password called testing, T for capital letter, 123456. I'll confirm my password, T for capital letter testing, 123456. Once that is matched, I'll go ahead and leave the default settings where we have the public inbound ports, allow selected ports, have our RDP because I want us to log in or connect to our virtual machine using the RDP. I'll go ahead and click on review and create. So this runs some validation. Oh, it's a validation failed. Information is missing or not valid. This is common when you're trying to create styles on Microsoft Azure. You could miss some basic information that you're supposed to enter. So all I have to do is to go back where you have the information that you're missing. As you can see, you have a red mark on the basics, meaning we have some validation errors right here. So I'll go back and click on it, and I'll scroll down, and it says I need to confirm that I have an eligible Windows 10 license with multi-tenant hosting rights. Okay, yes I do. So I'll go ahead and click on that, and I'll click review and create. You should run the validation one more time to see if every information is valid. Once validation is passed, you can go ahead and click on create. This initializes deployment, and this will take pretty much time for the virtual machine to deploy. Let's give you like 2 to 3 minutes and we'll be done. Our virtual machine has been deployed successfully. Let's see how we can connect to a virtual machine by going to the results and we click on connect. When you click on connect, you have three options. You have the RDP, you have the SSH, and you have the version. What is the RDP? Well, the RDP simply stands for Remote Desktop Protocol. It's a proprietary protocol developed by Microsoft which provides a user with a graphical interface to connect to another computer over a network connection. It allows you to connect, access, and control data and resources on a remote host as if you were doing it locally. Then we have the second option, which is SSH, also known as Secure Share or Secure Socket Share. Well, it's a network protocol that gives users, particularly system administrators, a secure way to access a computer over an unsecured network. You see most times when using SSH, it's always used on Linux machines. And the last option we have is the Azure Bastion. The Azure Bastion is a fully managed service that provides more secure and seamless remote desktop control protocol and secure shell protocol access to a virtual machine without exposure through public IP addresses. Azure Bastion allows you to connect either using the RDP or the SSH right from your Azure portal and your browser. You don't need to download any other software. All you have to do is create a Bastion and it will connect securely to your virtual machine. So we'll go ahead and use the RDP because when we are creating our virtual machine, we only allowed RDP part. So go ahead and click on connect and click on RDP. You will be allowed to download an RDP file that will allow you to connect to your virtual machine. Go ahead and click on download RDP file. I will check if that is been downloaded, and yes, it has. Once this is downloaded, you go ahead and click on open file. It will ask you if you trust this publisher. Go ahead and click on connect. While connection is trying to be established, you'll be pop up to enter your credentials, which is the username and the password that we created earlier. I'll go ahead and enter my username, which I say to be Azure user, and the password to be testing 12345 6. And I'll go ahead and click on OK. And it's trying to establish a connection. Go ahead and accept by clicking yes. And here we are on Windows 11 welcome screen on our virtual machine. I'll go ahead and accept some of the privacy settings. Just leave the default settings and I'll accept. And here we are inside Windows 11 on our virtual machine. I am Vincent Derule and thank you. I hope to see you again. Bye for now.